All right, welcome back. Let's continue with more news now. Today marks World Environment Day, where on this day, the United Nations encourages worldwide awareness and action to protect the environment at large. The theme for this year's World Environment Day celebrations include Think.Eat.Save. The theme is based on an anti-food wasting and food loss campaign that encourages people to reduce their footprint. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, every year, 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted. Perhaps to take this discussion further, we're going to be joined via Zoom by Dr Meseret Zemedkun. She's the head of the UNEP Southern Africa Sub-Regional Office. A very good afternoon to you, Dr Meseret. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Perhaps we could speak about the theme for this year and also what are the critical priorities that need to top the agenda for 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, the World Environment Day this year, it really has marked its 50th anniversary, which was celebrated annually on 5th of June 1973. And the event has really grown to be one of the largest actually global platforms for environmental outreach, with millions of people gathering across the world and engaging to protect our planet. This year, the theme for the WED 2023 focuses on solutions to end plastic pollution under the campaign of Beat Plastic Pollution. As one of these, the triple planetary crisis we have in this world, in today's world, which is the climate crisis, the nature crisis, and also the plastic crisis, or I think the pollution crisis or waste crisis we have. The plastic pollution and its detrimental impacts on health, economy, environment, and as a whole to the sustainable development, it requires really an urgent and a unified actions. So that's why now this year we just need just focus on beat plastic pollution and actually bringing all countries, governments, civil societies, private sectors, all partners, NGOs, even communities to come together and get solution for this planet actually by ending this plastic.
So you've spoken about how the theme is centered around the realities, with regards to plastic pollution. And I wonder if we look at the laws that have been put in place to date, perhaps the penalties imposed, has enough been done to deter, all across the value chain to adhere to them? What are some of the incentives perhaps to encourage, better behavior? Have there been any prosecutions? How would you weigh in what we've done on that front to date?
Yeah, thank you very much. Basically, the pollution part or the waste as a whole is a major problem because all wastes are really dumped in landfill and others. So they really cause a lot of health, environmental, and economic problems. When it comes to plastics, actually, currently, I think 1 million plastics are purchased every minute, where half of them are single-use plastics. You use it and you throw it, and you throw it on the land, river, lake, and oceans, which really creates problems for health and economy. So because of this, like, for example, in sub-Saharan Africa, about 17 million tons of plastic wastes are generated annually. The largest portion of them are really dumped into the lakes and waters and oceans. So this cannot be we cannot go as business as usual scenario, because if we continue, these plastic wells will reach 1.1 billion by 2050. So because of these problems, what we have actually to health, economy, environment, and on sustainable development, there are actually solutions. These solutions are not only by government, but we need a holistic kind of solutions in a sense. First of all, not to have actually a single plastic but a better which can be reusable, recyclable, and regradable, where we can really create wealth from this waste. That is a very important issue that we have to really focus on this, because one of the things is that when you use and dump it, with other places, I think that is the problem when we have. So the solutions, what are there is, first of all, my organization, the United Nations Environment Program, has an assembly, which is the United Nations Environment Assembly, where all member states are gathered together and come up with a solution. So for that, there is actually a resolution which has really made to end plastic pollution, or changing from linear economy to circular economy, including plastic to make it recyclable, which was made in February 2022. So basically bringing the circular economy, and then in order to make this practical, there are actually the issue of the global legally binding agreements, where are really still, they are under negotiation, under agreement, where it could be functional by 2024. But the other solution, what we need from the government, is bold decisions with actually appropriate policy to push actually the extended producer responsibility, where it is one way of policy mechanisms, and also really complementary by the deposit return scheme. It could be a viable national solutions to address the problem at source, and also align with future treaty elements. This is what we see now in South Africa. Actually, the EPR is one of the things which is really being seen. The other solution is we need a mobilized finance for sustainability. When we ask to go for single plastics, which have its own plastic industry, have a lot of jobs now, changing it to circular economy or regradable, reusable plastics, I think there is a change of technology and others. So we have to really bring a mobilized, finance for this, sustainability. So this is also, the finance sustainability will lead to the push for actually this global, binding agreement to end plastic solution as a result of these resolutions, which I just mentioned. Yes. The other is the plastic industry itself, the private sectors, redesigning products actually from single-use to reusable plastic products for enhanced sustainability. This is very, very important. So the private sectors are really coming up with this. We need to have a public-private partnership, and the government also give incentives to really change this just transition, where they can really have a lot of jobs, youth and women particularly can be involved in that. Yeah, there is educating young people and bring behavioral change at all levels. That is important. The power of people and community matter greatly, because action is very, very important. So giving them actually education, behavioral change, awareness creation is really very, very important. So the point is this, actually, it is the case for climate, nature, and pollution action is already closed. So it is time now to get it done. We need to go firm. We need to go fast.
Dr. Meseret, I'm going to have to leave the conversation there. Thank you for those pertinent points. You've obviously spoken about how if we don't change our behavior, there are going to be dire consequences, perhaps for future generations and beyond. You've spoken about the role of stakeholders, the need for policy, finance and resources, and just behavioral change overall. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC and for highlighting the importance on this World Environment Day, again celebrated annually on the 5th of June. Dr. Meseret Zemedkun is the head of the UNEP Southern Africa Sub-Regional Office.